Hi everyone, welcome to the Artsy Humblebee. This is my craft corner and I'm here to do an art tutorial for you about how to make a square spiral on your next tie-dye item. So I typically personally don't use t-shirts, but for the sake of teaching you and so that you can actually get a really good visual of what I'm doing, I'm actually just using an old t-shirt that didn't really it didn't really turn out well, so I wanted to give it some purpose. So okay, before I get started, I just wanted to start off by showing you some different tools that people use to get a good spiral. And your traditional spiral, which I'm sure that most of you already know about, and if not, you may want to find some tutorial out there about that, but it's pretty much one of the it's one of the most prevalent designs, I would say, in tie-dye, and one of the most well-known. A very traditional pattern, if you will. But anywho, us tie-dye artists, we like to use these handy tools. So this here is, it's actually a fisherman's clamp. So people use it when they go fishing and whatnot. But we like to use it for making our spirals nice and uniform and very professional looking. And it's so easy to do. You just find the center where you want it. You would clamp, and be careful how you clamp too, because I used to actually teach this to adolescents and different individuals, adults as well. But I actually used to do like an art therapy type of session with people, and we would make tie-dye, and I've had situations where it actually would create holes in the center, and the people who were making it obviously put a lot of time and effort into it, would get pretty upset about it. So just be careful with that and keep that in mind, especially if you're using with a cheaper grade t-shirt. Just something to think about. All right, that's the first tool. That's how you make a traditional spiral, but we're not doing that today, okay? We're doing square. But for the sake of actually showing you how to do it, I did want to first show you how to do like a traditional spiral, just to get an idea of pretty much how this scenario is going to go. So I like to use this handy wood spoon here. Believe it or not, I've used this thing so many times for different designs. It's one of those really handy things, and it makes really cool designs. So what you'll want to do, again, you'll find the center where you want your spiral to be. You can put the spoon or utensil, whatever you use, like this or like this. It doesn't really matter. So however you feel like doing it, I mean, you can do it any way you want. Okay. So what you'll do is you'll just find your center. You'll press down on a little bit, and then you'll start to twist. So you're going to notice right away that your shirt is already creating these lines for you. And the nice thing about it is if you kind of pull on the ends here, it just defines them more. And it makes your spiral look really defined, really professional. So the idea is to just keep going with this, defining your lines wherever you see them. So now this design, if you're doing this on a t-shirt, you might be better off using something that might be a little smaller in size, similar shape, but smaller in size. And the reason I say that is because there just isn't as much surface area, obviously, on a t-shirt in comparison to, say, a blanket or something like that, which if you're doing a square spiral, having a bigger or larger surface area just makes that design more prevalent. Obviously, as it gets to the outside, you're going to have like what looks like your traditional spiral, but what you want is that really that really defined center of your spiral, because that's what's going to look like a square, okay? So, which is why I often say, you know, with this technique, using bigger pieces of fabric to dye, like a blanket, it works really well with this design. Of course, you can apply it to anything. But so just like any spiral, you know, you'll really try to make it as tight as you possibly can. You know, keep that design nice and tight. Okay. Once you get it mostly put together there, you'll just gently remove your utensil, whatever you use. Again, like I was saying, there's so many different things that you can use for this project. This is another tool that I like to use. It's actually a paintbrush that I basically essentially ruined with epoxy resin. So it created this nice little hardened brush area here. So I can use that kind of in the same way that I used the spoon. So just to show you that, you know, anything that's got that like line in it, essentially, or kind of like a rectangular, and will give you that square design that you are looking for. Yeah, that's my video tutorial. I will be leaving a description to get to my Etsy shop, as well as my Facebook page. I do have a Pinterest page with a few different things on it, and information on how to reach me if you're interested in learning anything more about this particular technique. Please leave a comment if you did like what you've seen, and give it a like as well if you enjoyed the tutorial. I would be happy to see or hear about anybody's projects that they've made. It's always really cool to hear about the victories and the fails that people, the failures that people have experienced when doing their tie-dye. It's always fun to hear about that. So yeah, please leave a comment, and thank you so much for stopping by.